Hi, my name is Alycia Pirmohamed, and I'm going to read a few poems for you today. I'm really excited to have the chance to share my poetry with the Wigtown Poetry Festival, and I've decided I'll read a couple of new poems and some older work, and then also I'll share some poems that were recently published in Hinge, which came out in late February 2020. So I'm going to start with a few newer poems. And the first one is called The Fish That Happed Water. When dusk meets water, meets the history of my eye, I walk right into the shimmering body of a fish and wait for the river's rinse and monsoon to become memory. This is the landmark of ruins I have become. A woman following every weave of coral reef in search of a true story. It is already night, and all I have learned is the past is a version of this earth where few things have a name. I glide my way through the anonymity of ghosts. Listen, I expected the Atlantic to show me all that ruptured when woman after locust crossed an ocean. There are too many ways to say canyon, but one day I'll hold all those distances in my mouth, all the kilometers my longing has traveled. In the middle of the night, I walk right into my dreams and cluster with the other lost sisters of the moon, our bodies blushing out from the forest's velour. In the middle of the night, I walk right into my dreams and swim with the grass pickerel as they scissor through my every plot of land. The thing about being halved is that all the loose ends sneak up on you, whether you're slicing Zimbaru or dragging a toboggan up a hill, threading in and out of the evergreens as you climb. There are too many ways to say cleave, but one day I'll split into myth and pass through the mouths of 100 generations, jaws hinged wide open for this story. I am woman after spooling woman, ensorcelled by water that twins and fissures and halves into worlds. Meditation while plaiting my hair. I part my hair straight down the middle, a river on either side. In the past, someone shaped like me poured water from a metal carafe straight into my mouth. The echo of my river submerged in your river. Lately, I read all about storms because there is no lightning here. Instead, I see the wind pull down the tautness of trees and swans at the lagoon part through the wreckage. Each one is another translation for love, as if love was more vessel than loose thread. Once, we sat poolside outdoors in Dar es Salaam, and I chose survival over your body. Why is it I only ever see the night heron alone? I tendril neatly together my hair, soaked by salt and the wood of a body I do not touch, the spine of a book left open on the page I forgot to bookmark, the spine of a book I left out in a storm, each of its rooms sliding into our margins, into all these tendrils of blank space, and tell me, when did I let us splinter? The next poem I'll read is a bit older, and it's called Faded. Say the word dark translates to how I fold my body like a fig against a stippled moon. Pull a string of sorrows from my mouth. Remind me that I am not a swan. I am a long night of rain with my mother's eyes. Hold my thusby to my heart. Imagine we are elk walking into tall grass. This dream is the sky opening. This dream is a river of faces. This dream is all of the pine trees replaced with smoke. I call out to the water, and the wind scatters my thoughts, fashions distances within me. I call out Allah. If I look up, I see a ghost in the canopy. I'm going to move on to a few poems from Hinge, which was published by the wonderful Ignition Press, who are really lovely. And yeah, it's a nice production, and I'm glad that even amidst the wild circumstances we're in, this book came to be printed and is out in the world. So I'm going to start with the first poem in the collection called My Body is a Forest. There is a face in the trees. I lost a language to the gap-toothed birch. Even the pine has learned how to swoon when the wind deposits a secret. A country is born knowing what it means to waver. A lost country is made by its daughters, and shame begins as a seed that blossoms perennially throughout generations. Clove keeps the child bitter. For every dark cross, I apologize, because I could not read the recipe written in my grandmother's neat script. I added cinnamon, crushed anise, mountain slope, and too many quartered Canadas. Once I watched a mule deer unfold her limbs and vanish among the haloed trees, fog uncoiling at her heels, a ghost inviting her into its loosened borders. In the blood of every migrant, there is a map pointing home. This body is an ode to the scattered landscapes that have marbled my neck with dark hairs and sharp, coarse longings. Ask me how I remember her. Not a face, but a movement. Legs stotting into a slip of boreal green, a swash of color in the shape of a lost country. A daughter, which is to say an inherited vanishing through the slit of a dream. Love poem with elk and punctuation. To taste water on the surface of a mirror. To love, even briefly, the elk of your own tongue. We become a myth that will cleave in the middle. I admire spooling lotus after lotus after. Fragment of my body. Brown edges, the whirl of a question mark, and you? Night's quiet whisper. We become a bridge that crosses the chasm. It takes a moon or two, a slivering, to chapter. I look at the fringe and watch evening kick her feet right through. We too become hooves of light and feel our way around tenderness. This is a dream, and we are the ruminants in it. I want to know the ellipsoidal of you, how you move from polygon to speckle, rectangle to unravel. In the water, I stretch out until I am lagoon, and you are the coral reef at my toes. until I am the lotus that blossoms after. When the wolves appear. When the wolves appear, I know I am dreaming. Give me back my dark. They call out in Gujarati, and no howling could terrify me as much. The wolf eyes, like eyes in family photographs, follow me. I run and don't look back. I'm terrified of the land. At sea, my body is a vase filled with ovate black stones. I sink, I sink, I sink. Where have the wolves gone, and where is the voice that held the whorls of my fingers in its clay? Is it fair to wish for them now? They don't belong in this version of India that wets my hair and deposits my skin onto the shore. To get to the bone, to get to the language, I want to say yes. I want to become a stream of milk and wash through the aquifers, to pick up dark stalks of sugar along the way. I want to carry my dark with me, stretch out legs of jasmine vine and call out to the deep space between the stars. Every night, I open my mouth. Every night, my mouth is an orbiting, elliptical no. This is my last poem that I'll read today, and it's called Elegy with Two Elk and a Compass. In Jasper, Alberta, I pass through the widowed poplars. Evening hikes up its dark hems. Trees begin howling their elegies when, loosened from the thicket, two elk walk into my gaze. Here, in the gap between needlepoint and destination, there is an unkind earth that persists even as loss petals down, leaving the poplars bare. Earlier that day, I had crossed the forest's bridges and stepped beyond its corridors. I had longed to find the hidden trail that led to the Valley of Roses. From the elk, I am expecting a lesson, as if Allah has approached me in the shape of a compass built from antler and vine. Their muscles tense. One rises into a gallop, widening the field. Its legs seize with strength, and I remain in the space left behind, the sudden nakedness of a northern forest. I am unable to follow. The elk, in their way, have mastered living by mastering letting go. Soon it will rain, and we will all wear our halos of mist. Thank you so much for listening.